Episode 886. Hello,
Yes.
world. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Susie. How are you, my dear?
Oh, good. I was telling you off the air, I went out last night with my mother, and we went to this theater for a percussion concert, and I almost got kicked out.
What Susie? You didn't say this in the other part when you were telling me. What do you mean? What are you doing?
You know my policy where if I'm going out, I'm going to go all out. So I always do like front row or as close as I can. Yeah. And so we did. And it was cool because they were playing their little drums and everything. But then for the next song, the one guy got out an accordion, which of course is percussion. But like,
I did not know that.
Well, piano is percussion.
Didn't know this.
Yeah, piano is percussion. And because you strike it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
We are learning things all the time on the podcast.
And so
I would have never guessed. I would have thought strings.
Well, there are strings inside a piano. So some people do like to debate it.
Oh.
But given the way that you play it.
It won't be the hill I die on. Yeah.
You could take the minority opinion on that. But at any rate, so okay, he gets the accordion out and my mom's like, oh my gosh, an accordion. And I took a picture and the woman next to me goes, they have a very strict policy about photos.
Okay.
And I said, well, then they're going to have to kick me out. And she goes, what? And I go, well, then they're going to have to kick me out.
Yeah.
And
that's
she
the right
goes,
comeback.
She goes, I am the head.
No! No! She is they. She is they.
She is they. And that's what made me mad. She tried to hide it by saying they.
She
goes, I am head of front of the house, blah, blah, blah. And
you
I go,
can't say they if you are head. No, that is entrapment, basically.
entrapment. And I go, well, then you're going to have to kick me out. And she was like, I'm not going to kick you out, but
I want to.
But you're not allowed to take photos. And I go, why? And she said, the percussionists don't want you to. And I go, why?
I don't believe that they're like, please don't promote me on your social media platform.
I know.
Yeah, fucking right. Let's go ask them. Let's ask them. Now I'm involved. Now, you know what this is? This is like the lady when we were in Brazil, and I'm like, semantics. Like
you said.
Whatever they say, I'm going to take you at your word, and I'm going to be very fucking literal because I am just neurodivergent enough to be like that. So
true.
I absolutely.
And so then I said, well, why? And she goes, I'm going to listen to the show now. And that was the end of it.
Oh my God.
You
what a
fucking
bitch.
Karen. Like,
yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
You're mad that I took a picture of an accordion. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck all. Now, Petty Sarah, I would want to find that accordion player.
I wanted to find this lady. I want to know her name.
I want to find I want to.
Well, I did get the picture.
Yeah.
So I can tag
her and tag him and be like, so glad that I get to promote local music, the local music scene or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Imagine. That would have been the best exposure the freaking percussion ensemble had all year.
Right. Agreed.
Listen.
I
don't know how this stuff happens to me, though. I guess because when most people get scolded, they just say, I'm so sorry.
I cower. If they did that to me,
because I was like, what better story could I actually have than if they did kick me out?
It would be the best. It would be the best. Yeah.
Like, what if there were handcuffs?
I was on her side until she said we. Or she said, that they, and then she was they. Then I'm like, now you aren't giving me the real truth. I don't like any of that. Now I'm out of principle.
So when you thought she was just another ticket holder, And she was like giving me the heads up, like you might get in trouble. You were okay.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she's just like a nice lady looking out for you so that you both don't get in trouble. She's being a little bit of a, like, annoying. But she's probably saying what I would want to say. Like if I'm the rule follower, right? Like I remember I went to Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
And my friend got us amazing seats. And this woman who was right in the front, it's a very strict, like, no photos. No, he does not want that. And they've mentioned it. This bitch takes out her camera and is like filming. And then he calls it out. It's like, what do you watch the show?
No,
Why don't you just watch
okay.
the show? And then she like doubled down, and then she started saying, "Well, I'm taking it for my friends that are in." And
I would never do something like that.
And I was just like, kill me and kill her.
Typically, what I do if I want a photo and I'm at a comedy show where they say you're not allowed, I just wait till the end when we're all clapping and I take one before I leave. I'm not revealing the jokes. Right. And if I do get in trouble, what are they going to do? Right. It's over.
Right.
Everybody's happy.
That's great. That is a great time for it.
But in this case, I genuinely felt like I was doing them a favor. Like, I'm going to promote this thing that literally no one's ever heard of.
Susie, when you even said, like, oh, I was treating myself to, like, front row tickets to the percussion, I'm like,
for real?
What are those guys going for? Like I don't think you had to fight for that
I mean, it's not like the hottest ticket in town or anything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think that those were available.
I just love it. I like to feel like I'm a part of a music show, especially.
As you should. Like,
Yeah.
I was basically thinking in my head, that's probably the concert that I would allow myself front row seats to because they're in my price bracket.
I mean, let me think. I think they were $100.
Oh, that's great. That's the front row for that. That's That's good.
Yeah. And they were great. I had a wonderful time, but I just was like, what is wrong with me that I'm in trouble at like a freaking concert hall?
Well, I feel like once you became a member of the Elks Lodge, now you're bringing Elks Lodge behavior everywhere. And that feels like an Elks Lodge member would.
I don't like dumb rules. I do have a problem with dumb rules.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to explain. The no photography thing, I want to someone explain it to me.
It's got to be because of the flash.
Oh, God.
I think
Who's
it's
using
the no
a flash?
Oh, my God. My camera is on. I am so bad. I'm turning into the old person who doesn't know how to use technology, who doesn't change the settings. The settings, you update the phone or whatever, and then there's like default settings that are in there.
Yeah.
I don't know to change these things. And so I am now the person who opens up their phone to take a photo. I went to do this at the women's hockey game I went to, go to take video. And because it's a little bit dark in there, my flash is on. I'm like, oh, God. And it's so embarrassing. Oh, nothing says I don't know what I'm doing more than that move.
Yeah.
It's not good, Suze.
It's not. We're old, but at least we're funny.
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness.
We got that going for us.
Yeah. And I feel like I have the heart of a childlike nature.
It's just childlike spirit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With maybe some behaviors that are a little boomerish.
I think you've always had them, though. I don't think it's related to your age.
Yeah, this is true.
I'll tell you what else is true, and that is I have eternal love for Honey Love.
Who doesn't? I mean, if you like comfort and if you like quality.
Yeah, if you like looking hot in your leggings.
Yeah, or shapewear.
That's right. They have shapewear.
It's almost like I feel like spring season is when like the summer dresses start coming out.
Oh, my God. Sarah and I are prepping for our time as officiators of a wedding.
Yes, and there's going to be shapewear under that dress.
It's the Lord's work. That stuff is so good. It's so high quality. It really is flattering, and it makes you feel comfortable, smoothed out. You don't have to worry. But the leggings I wear almost every day, the GD Gym, and their crossover bra is outstanding. Treat yourself to the most comfortable shapewear on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/braincandy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/braincandy. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Treat yourself to Honey Love because you deserve it, people.
Okay. What do I want to tell you? This is a funny thing I heard on Wait, Don't Tell Me. Okay. There's a new term that is floating around that's called boomerasking. Can you take a stab at what you think boomerasking is?
Is boomerasking like when you ask a question, but really you just want to tell the answer?
Bingo! That is it. Good job, Susie.
You are kidding me.
Yes.
Because of boomers or because of the boomerang?
No, because of the boomerang. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it could go either way on that one.
It actually kind of could.
Because they love boomers love boomerasking. Yes. What would be an example though?
So what'd you have for dinner last night? When I am really excited to tell you about the dinner that I made.
Stop.
Yes. It's like
it's baiting.
Yeah, humble bragging and fishing. If humble bragging and fishing for compliments got together and had a baby.
Yeah, because it's like
never learned any social
skills. What'd you get on your
skills.
SATs or something?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It is a bad trait.
It is such a bad trait, but I feel like it's on the rise.
Because people are so desperate to talk about themselves,
and because of how things have become so performative.
Yeah.
And how what we present and how we are received matters so fucking much to people in this social media age, even though it shouldn't. Like, who cares? Mm-hmm. But there is this, I don't know, maybe self-centeredness too that comes with that, like an increase in narcissism. We just want.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Do you hate it?
Yeah, I hate it so much, and I do the opposite of that.
I was just going to say, you do not do that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, that is not a Sarah trait.
Because I forget the question. I get the answer, and then I forget the question that
if you did want to say something, you would just say it.
Yeah.
Like, you would just say it.
I think what I am instead is the yes-ander, which then can look like that. But it's really where I'm saying, oh, you did this. Well, and it could look like a one-upping where I'll often say, like, I didn't mean to say that to one-up you.
That's
most
the
of the time
ADHD thing where you guys go through your old brain file and you're like, I have a story about that same thing.
Oh, my God, which makes great for a podcast.
You're trying to relate. Yeah.
Yeah. Relating.
Oh, my God, yeah, you're not a boomerasker at all.
A boomerasker. It
so
is
glad.
funny to call it that. Yeah, but I see this a lot. And
where do you see this in your clients?
No, I see
socially.
Socially.
Ew.
I see it socially, and I see it. I saw it on the challenge all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Bananas is the king
100%.
of. He invented boomerasking.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't even listen to the answer that person provides.
Yeah, right. And then the worst is when you get the boomerask, and the story that they provide isn't even that fucking good.
Yeah.
They've waited to tell you a story that's dog shit anyway.
Yeah. It's so bad.
Oh, I'm so glad I stuck around to hear your side of this.
Yeah. People with good stories probably don't even need to do that.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Because people with good stories you're not sitting there waiting to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when you're not having. That's when these conversations are bad, and also when what I think might lead to people feeling anxious in conversations. If you're always worried about what you're going to say, or trying to work something into the conversation because that's what you want to talk about, that thinking about what to say, I think would create more anxiety for me than actually listening and just going with the flow.
You said that it's like self-centered, and it is, but there is an underlying insecurity that comes from.
For fucking sure.
Because you're trying to impress the other person.
Yes.
Yeah.
It all is rooted in insecurity. Anytime we are that calculated and measured in our behavior, and not because it's the opposite of authenticity.
Yeah.
Somebody said, oh, who was it? Brene Brown. I can't remember the exact quote, but she said the opposite of authenticity is not like being inauthentic. It's conformity.
Yeah. That's true.
Isn't that like makes you think, right?
Well, do you remember a few days ago on Instagram I posted that clip from my original road rules where we got into a little accident?
Oh, I loved that clip.
A lot of people really loved it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to analyze what it was that really made people react to it. Cause whatever, it's silly. But I think the answer is, number one, reality TV back then was way more real.
Oh,
more documentary style than it is now, less produced. And then that clip in particular, those were those little lipstick cams that they like mount in the RV. Yeah. So like we really just there were no cameras with us at that time. We had one director and that's it in the very back. And then when we hit the car, my reaction was so real.
Yep.
Like to gasp like that and whatever. I was genuinely shocked. I think that people are desperate for like the truth. Yeah. Like whether it's in real life or on TV. And that they're
because we're getting so much fake stuff.
Yeah. And that you can sense that that's a true moment and that like we don't have those as much now.
I think that might be why people loved my surprise box that I got for Christmas. Because I was genuinely fucking surprised and I really didn't know what was in there or how to open the box.
Yeah.
That was a real, authentic moment. And the whole time I was watching that back, I was like, no wonder I was on reality television.
Well, there is that too.
It makes total sense.
When some people are real, it's real boring.
I can't hide any of my feelings. So,
and you have a lot of feelings. Some people can't hide their feelings, but they're like one note,
right?
And that's okay, but not as fun to watch.
My high emotional reactivity
has really paid off.
Really paid off. Yes. When you learn how to harness that, there's some power in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do think like culturally, because everyone now has a camera at all times and there's always an element of performing now. Oh my God, that people are sort of desperate for just like the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's scarce.
Yeah, agree.
Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
So there's a little new word for when you notice somebody doing that. Like,
don't,
are you boomerasking over here?
Ew, yeah. Don't do that. I hate it.
Okay, you got me all thinking about short films last time we were talking, or a couple times ago. I can't remember when that was. So when I saw an interview between Rashida Jones and Will McCormick talking about their new documentary or short film, I went straight to the internet and watched it. It's this LA Times documentary short called The Swim Lesson.
I have that in my queue to watch.
Susie, you have to fucking see it.
I knew it.
It's so good. I bawled my eyes out
raw
the whole time. It is a lesson for your soul. It is such a metaphor for life. It is the most beautiful fucking story. This guy is basically the Mr. Rogers of swimming pools, and instead of cardigans, he wears a little hat and a rash guard.
Let me read you before you tell me more. The caption on LA Times that made me want to watch it. It said, watching a child learn how to swim is like witnessing a great opera. It's a tale filled with agony, ecstasy, absurdity, fear, hope, despair, joy, connection, and love. And lots and lots of love. And it celebrates the inherent strength and resilience with which we are born into this world. At a time of great division, we felt drawn to Bill and his teaching, which is so pure and profound. And so you're saying it lives up to that.
I could cry right now thinking
Tell
about
me.
it. Is the most beautiful story you see. So he says that he could, first of all, this guy is like a monk. He's like, there, you know, when you just meet those people,
yes,
and they look at I'm gonna cry. They look at the world different, and the woman that he married and the child that he raised, like his daughter's amazing, his wife is just like, I see what you value. Mm-hmm. You can see that right away, and he has unlocked a key to something that is so special and so profound and so beneficial to our growth as humans. He talks about how swimming is the only thing that you can master at 2 years old that will save your life, that will teach you that, and what that does to the brain when there is this thing that is scary in front of you that you can conquer. It teaches you that you can go through hard things, and it builds that resilience. It is a lesson in resilience. And you see the parents who say, who get nervous about their child. Like, my brother was a swim instructor for infants, and he would, you toss the babies in the pool, and the parents get really scared, and the babies are crying, and it is intense, but there is a real formula to it. And when you stick through it, there's, like you said in that quote, there's so much love that's used, and he uses consistency. He uses love. He uses like his energy, and like letting them know that he's always there to get them through this thing that looks like, oh my God, this is my baby struggling and I want to save them from this. But they get through it. And then they say in the film, he goes from being their enemy and being like the evil enemy in this to being the best friend and the hero.
The parents.
Both. Both. And the kids, and it takes about 8 days, and they learn to trust him, and they have to go through, and it's only the parents' fear and compromising and making trying to rationalize with that side of the brain that gets in the way, that if you just trust the process, it works. And it's such a beautiful film that is such a metaphor for life, and you have to see it.
I will,
and
yeah.
It's I haven't seen any of the other short films, but this gets my nomination for Academy Award Best Short Film.
I'll tell you what gets my nomination for Best Deodorant, and that's Lumi.
Always?
I mean, it's not even a nomination.
Yeah, this is the straight up winner. And I think that also all dermatologists and everybody agrees.
Yeah, it is the real deal. And the best part about Lumi is that you can put it anywhere. And you people, if you're honest with yourself, you stink in other places besides your armpits.
I'll admit, I do.
Yeah, man, we all do. Because guess what? Being human is gross. And so Lumi makes it a little less gross by blocking odor all day and controlling it for up to 72 hours. So if you're one of those people that kind of forget sometimes, don't worry. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code BRAINCANDY15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code BRAINCANDY15 at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi.
Yes. Do you remember when you learned to swim?
I do.
Tell me about that.
Well,
because this is very different than California. I feel like
I think you guys are better at it.
Well, and I didn't know this until watching the documentary that half of the world doesn't know how to swim.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, I thought because so many people are coastal but then I guess it's a very privileged thing to know how to swim.
That's right.
And that in the United States, drowning is the number one, the leading preventative cause of death for children ages 1 to 4.
Wow. That's brutal. Yeah, I didn't learn to swim till I was probably 9 or 10.
Whoa!
I still can't really do it properly, but, I won't drown.
Oh, my goodness. So, okay. So did you go to the Y? Did you have what was
like a community pool.
Yeah.
I had to take lessons, like a group lesson. It wasn't like, this wasn't fancy.
Yeah. And
it was like, here's how you tread water.
Like life or death. Like you have to teach your children.
Sure.
There's so many freaking pools around that you have to teach your kids. So if they go play at somebody else's house, you don't know if those parents are going to be watching. And so he stresses that the only thing they need to know how to do is how to go to the side and hold on. And once they get to the side and can hold on, they're fine.
Well, and also it's a cultural thing, Yeah.
Like,
it's a class. Like if you don't have access to a pool.
Absolutely. And I can imagine that these lessons with this guy are not cheap.
Wait, right. When you said 8 days, do you mean like all day long?
No, they're short. They're not just over a week. It's like it's like 5 to 8 days or
they
something.
taught, then you're done?
Yeah, done. Then they know because they get over that fear. You're getting over this because we have an instinct to in water. We have the mammalian dive reflex. We have a lot of instincts around water. And so
speak for yourself.
Well, we're born
Some of us sink
we're not born yes, we do, but because we're forgetting that. That's why you got to get it before the fear takes over. And when the fear takes over, you're then dealing with the fear, not so much
for real.
Skills.
It's like swimming, seeing ghosts, and learning languages. Like if you don't do it before you're 5, you're fucked.
Seeing ghosts. Oh my God, that's so great.
Because you know how little kids fucking see shit.
They sure do,
and then it goes away.
Yep, my brother was definitely that. He saw ghosts when he was little.
For real.
Like what are those kids seeing? That's cool. Yeah, languages and swimming.
Yeah, those are the 3 fundamentals you can lose.
And musical instrument, can we throw that in?
Oh, for sure. That gets easier. Or that's easier when you're little, for sure.
Like those kids
I guess
just
learning everything.
Everything. They're just like little sponge brains.
Yeah, we're like old dogs over here.
I know. Well, because it's that discomfort and difficult to chat. Like, what is our relationship with that? Because if we were taught to persevere and push through that, and to almost you have the other side, or people who become hungry for that.
For what?
I was telling you that struggle in a way. Like I was telling you before we started this, that I'm signed up for a freaking sprint triathlon. That
and I'm like, why would you do that?
Like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because I need a challenge. I need a struggle. I need something that's like, here's what you're fucking working towards, and that feels good to then overcome that. But I think some people look at that struggle and go, I don't want to do that, and that makes a weak brain.
Yeah,
we have to embrace a little bit of it doesn't have to be a triathlon, it doesn't have to be super challenging and hard, but it could be something like having a difficult conversation with your partner, or it could be something like vocalizing something to a friend that's been bugging you that you have wanted to talk about, having a healthy conversation about, I don't know, whatever it is, those kind of things, or maybe being honest with your doctor about something that you've been not honest with them about because whatever it could be.
I don't recommend that.
Definitely not.
No, I mean, I don't recommend being honest with your doctor.
Oh.
Because
Susie,
Sarah, they
do not listen to Susie's advice. Not at all. They need to hear the things.
It's sort of like one of those dealies where if we all agreed, we're all going to be honest, and then the doctors knew we've all agreed, but they assume you're lying. And so if you say I have, 1 drink a day, they're like, she has 10 drinks a day. Right? So then if you say you have 10 drinks a day, they think you have 50, Like they always like read between the lines.
Yeah, it is hard for women in that department. But I think they're like the things that have been bugging you, the things that have been like, oh yeah, I've had a little, like I should have spoke up a lot earlier about like my symptoms, and I would have some other organs. You know, like I was I don't want to bug the doctor with my symptoms.
That's telling
a crazy
me
thought.
That if you spoke up sooner, your outcome may have been different?
Yes.
Why?
Because endometriosis like it worsens.
Spreads.
They diagnosed me 8 or 9 years before I had my surgery, that if I went in with those same symptoms and was like, no, it is bad, because they did the surgery when I said I can't take it anymore. And if I said I can't take it anymore 4 years before, it may have not spread as much as it did. I may not have had the complications and all the problems.
Wow, that is talk about a lesson. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so we got to go. You got to be like, nah, I'm going to tell them about this. Oh, you know what? I am going to get that tooth checked out that's been hurting me for a while, or like get that cavity looked at, or whatever.
Yeah. All right, Sarah. I'll take your advice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I said that about don't telling your doctor stuff. Maybe just get a doctor that isn't a dick.
Yeah. And, I think that is something that I do with clients, is like work through feelings of anxiety. A lot of people have worries and medical anxiety and fear of talking to doctors about stuff and don't feel comfortable or feel like they're, all this. So I work with clients all the time to like work through those anxieties and talk about that, and, in a setting that feels safe. And I hope people have good therapists that they can talk about that kind of stuff with. Because if you can't tell your doctor, tell your therapist, and your therapist will help you get to the place.
Dang, you people are doing the Lord's work.
We're trying over here. But okay, what else do I want to say? Okay, this is just out. Beep, boop, 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 hot off the presses.
Yeah.
Scientists have created mice with two biological dads. This is what and I think it's important to say that this mouse that was created from two dads has lived into adulthood. But also I was like, mouse adulthood? What is that, like 2 weeks old?
Yeah, what's the lifespan of a mouse?
They didn't say in the article how old that was.
Yeah, right.
They just said adulthood. And I'm like, come on. What is that?
Yeah, come on.
Is he going to live for 5 more years? Like, yeah. So I have mixed feelings on this, and not just because it's two men. I have mixed feelings because
that got me. Okay.
Yeah, and oddly enough, we've had success with this. It's easier to do with two females. This is like not news with two females.
Why?
But it is news with men. And you might think, well, yeah, because men can't carry the baby. Well, guess what? They didn't. They just made, and I think that they buried that part in the story.
Yeah, right.
Excuse me, but female mouse still involved, still doing all the heavy lifting, if you fucking ask me.
Well, and there is a mom, right?
No,
what the fuck are you telling me?
Okay, so the mice were created when the scientists combined the chromosomes of two male mice. They basically converted chromosomes from a male mouse into that of a female mouse, but still required a female mouse to carry the embryo. Like they fertilized the egg and they created the...
I didn't want them cutting her out of the deal. I thought that's what you were telling me.
They needed... Her DNA was not involved, but she basically was the surrogate.
Yeah. She's like the oven.
Yeah. So this is... But only 11% of the embryos survived until birth. All the mice that were born were sterile.
And they're all like total assholes.
And they're all total fucking dicks. And they all came out wearing little like Make America Great Again hats. They all came out saying that they're ready to host a fucking podcast with no qualifications.
Right. They were born holding a microphone and sharing their opinions. Wow.
So it's I mean, is it a scientific breakthrough? Yes.
And why are we even doing that? We don't need to do that.
I asked the same question. I'm like, why the fuck is this a thing? So the scientists, the researchers, they're in Japan, and they say that this could be beneficial for species that where you see a die out of like females in the population, like a reduction in females in the population, and you're trying to save maybe an endangered species. But I'm sorry, if you make sterile animals, how you fucking doing that? So it feels like this is a little bit of that, like, I want to just do it because I can, but I don't know if
there's no need for this.
This is not where we need to be applying our efforts. I feel like, why don't you go back to those menstrual stem cells?
For real, fertility science, there's a lot of things we could use help with. And they're like, what if we had 2 men involved?
Right. And then what? Like and the other thing is, there are far less chromosomes. Like, it's obviously not as complicated, the system for a mouse, as it is for a human. That going to this would take it in order to do what they have to do to, like, manipulate the DNA. They have to find, like, all these different biomarkers and change them and manipulate them. And I think it's like whack-a-mole, where you hit one and you're going to have some other problem pop up somewhere else, where I think being sterile is going to be the least of your problems, where the majority it's basically like a lot of these embryos would come out with an extra chromosome. And they adjusted for this extra chromosome, but only in mice. Like, this wouldn't they don't think that this would, with the same format, I guess, I don't know, this using the same, like, switch this on, switch this off kind of thing, wouldn't work for another animal. You almost have to, like, do it all over again. And then that feels like so many trial and error. Like, when would that ever go to human trials and be never gonna fucking happen? Because then you're gonna what? Like,
but are gay guys gonna be mad at us for being like, this is stupid, we don't need this? Because maybe gay guys are the ones that it's, like, gonna be helpful for.
Yeah, but
I mean, that'd be nice for them, like, but
at the cost of guessing and checking with different, like...
Would you like it better if it were about 2 moms?
I mean, obviously.
You and your lesbian army?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I just think that the manipulation of genes, that we are just in the very early stages of that. I just want to know... if it could save an endangered species, or if it could help humans, I support it. But I wonder if it is if it's doing that.
Yeah, this is just sci-fi, whatevs.
Yeah. You know, if you could show me how this would save, like, I like it in both directions. Like, the reason why it works for women, or for not women, but female animals or creatures, is because of the ability to then reproduce and to carry another offspring. But if it's just to make sterile males, then I don't see that as being a biological advantage that would be good in any situation.
No, I don't see any good coming from that.
That feels like we would have to do more harm than good, and that kind of freaks me out.
Yeah,
but no, I would love if two men were able to do that, and to say, nice. I want that. I love that part. I love the, like, idea of it. But I think in what actually happens when you do this, it's like,
remember when
maybe nature telling us a thing.
Gay guy friends had twins through in vitro, and one dad was the dad of one of the babies, and one was the dad of the other one, and then they had the same egg donor, and then a separate surrogate lady, And it was just like, holy shit, that is proper sci-fi.
That is, and that's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. And those babies they're toddlers now. They're so cute. But like, you can't believe that's even possible.
Right.
And they're still twins.
Yeah. That seems like great. That.
Yeah.
There's no like 11% I don't know. It just feels like.
Yeah. What? So you're telling me the other, whatever, 89 were goners?
Yeah.
Well, they died from
didn't note birth defects.
Being annoying. Oh. Birth defects?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
So we don't want to be waiting until like birth and then go, No.
I see what you're saying. It's more harm than good.
Yeah. So do I like the idea of that? But yes. But do I think that in how these scientists are like the results they're getting don't seem like the amazing breakthrough that they want it to be or that they think it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I'm not a mouse
researcher. I love when you do that. You'll go on and then you'll be like, what the fuck do I know?
What the fuck do I know? I don't know anything.
Oh, well.
Okay. I maybe this will help. I don't know anything, but mathematicians do.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rule called the 37% rule. That mathematicians, have you heard of this? Or
no.
There have been a few books that have come out. There's a great book out there called The Mathematics of Love, Pattern Proofs and the Search for the Ultimate Equation by Hannah Fry. And Hannah Fry is a mathematician who applies mathematic principles to relationships and dating and love. I want to have her on my other podcast. I think that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about how to use probability and algorithms to make better romantic choices and how it almost like takes the emotion out of it. And you can apply this. There have been other books similar to this. There was one called Algorithms to Live By, The Computer Science of Human Decisions. And that talks about this theory that I'm going to get into that they call the optimal stopping theory. And these strategies are helpful to do everything from finding a romantic partner to apartment hunting to even organizing your inbox or picking somebody to hire for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
So here's how it goes. They say it's kind of like speed dating, but with math in a way. And so say you have 100 you're hiring somebody for a job, and you have 100 applicants. This theory says for the first 37%, the first 37 people you see, you basically you're going to reject them all, but you're going to be gathering data. You're going to be like looking for what is the best, who's the best, who did I really like? And then after you've eliminated, you're going to like basically swipe left on the first 30%, 37% of people. And the very next person who comes along that is better or as good as the average or like what the best of that first 37%, that's the one. That's the winner. You don't have to look at all 100. This is what mathematicians call optimal stopping theory. And it's the optimal time to stop to say that you've looked at enough things to know that you can be satisfied and happy with whatever you're settling on.
Why do you think that it is 37 though? That's such a weird number.
It really is.
Like, I wonder why. The human brain is like, okay, now I have enough info. Now I can assess correctly.
It must be something about
like a fatigue point or something.
Yeah, like a fatigue point or like the difference between, I kind of think of it as, when we've talked about wine and we've said the difference between like a $6 bottle and a $12 bottle is like 90%, but the difference between like a $40 bottle and a $100 bottle is like minuscule differences, like 2%. Like who the fuck cares? I think it might be something like that, where the difference between the very best person in that, the next person you find in the 37% or whatever, is the difference between the best person in that or the best person out of 100 is going to be such a small difference.
Well, so how would you apply this in your life? Do you feel like this is a useful tool?
If say you're going to look for new apartments, and you have your list of like, there are so many, they like keep popping up. Oh my gosh, which one do we like? And there's this feeling of like, maybe the next one will be the best one. Maybe the next one, maybe they could almost keep you in this like, and sometimes you lose one that was really good because you're waiting for the next one. I think this is everybody with online dating. When they go, well, maybe the next one will be better. Maybe if I keep scrolling or keep swiping. And then
you hit a limit, and then it's just like the next one that's fine.
Right. And then you become burnt out. You settle on something that's not good. It's a mathematical law of averages, I get. Like, it's just like math. Is there the chance, they said, like, is there the chance that you may reject the perfect one in that first 37?
Yeah.
They said, yeah, well, tough luck. Like, that is kind of, the next one will still be, the next one that you are satisfied with will be as good in your mind. Like, and our minds also will do this thing where they'll adjust based on the results that we have, where we will make the best out of the situation that we are in. Where you move into that house, it doesn't matter if another one that's better came along, because you'll be like, oh my God, this one's better because da-da-da-da-da, where you'll convince yourself why it's good. And they said, if you are okay with pretty good instead of the best, if you're looking to just like get this done with fast, like say you're hiring people, or say you're like, I don't know, what you'd be satisfied with pretty good, that you can stop after rejecting 22%. That it's the sooner you stop, the I don't want to say less qualified, but maybe the less satisfied. Like, it'll be pretty good instead of the best, but you are likely to get the best with this 37% rule.
So they're actually endorsing this.
Yeah.
Saying, like, this is what you ought to do, not just what we tend to do.
This is what you ought to do. That if you are looking to feel better about your choices, if you are looking to better your odds, like be happy with what is available, to use this rule.
Okay, well then this is good advice.
Yeah.
Thanks,
like,
Sarah.
okay. And this is like the okay, you got to date a little. Like, when I was like, okay, I got to date a couple people. I got to try out a few things. I got to like, what do I think would be the number of dates I would go on before or like number of people I would want to meet before I like could determine that this person is somebody I'd want to like carry on in a relationship with. And it keeps you from doing that thing where you get caught in the like Tinder swiping. Maybe the next one is out there, It's almost like Goldilocks decision making.
Or it prevents you from doing the other thing, which is just like the first one.
Right.
Is
right.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, no, you want to reject. We're not going to settle for that. We're going to reject the first 37%.
Dang.
You want to go out with, you think, I'm going to go out with 10 people. You're going to automatically reject the first 3.
Wow, that's hard.
Yeah.
I'm not real good at
math,
that.
man.
It's math, though, yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we to argue with math?
Right. It's so hard. It's so funny that like it can it makes sense for apartment hunting or finding somebody for a new job, but as soon as you get love involved, the heart is just like, I don't believe it. I don't want to do that. Like, but math, man. It.
Dang.
Yeah. So.
Okay, Sarah,
okay.
Thank you.
I think I have one more.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Fun little story.
You're a fun little story.
Oh thanks.
Sarah. That's like Lincoln's on a roll with that. He thinks that's like the funniest joke ever. But he's doing it too much. It's like Michael Scott.
That was a fun one.
Right.
Around that certain age.
Yeah.
And South Park helped. There was that was a running joke on there.
Was it?
Yeah, only from the stoned towel.
What are you saying?
There was a towel named Towley that was a character who was always high.
Oh my God.
And he would always go, "You're a towel." They go, "What? Shut up! You're just a towel." And he would go, "You're a towel." It's so fucking funny. But for so long, so many of my friends and I would just go, "You're a towel" to each other. To me, it's so good. Oh God, it's still funny. I'm like, yeah, that's so dumb what he's making those jokes about. Meanwhile,
but also,
this is so fucking good. Okay, so I also want to tell you about a $1 million prize that is available.
Okay.
If you are able to decipher this ancient...
I know.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't decipher it.
Yeah, I don't think
the language. They say that it's a language for sure that it can be decoded. They just haven't done it.
Yeah, that there's basically we haven't found the Rosetta Stone for this language in a way, and I think it's in ancient like Pakistan is the area, and no language. We just have no translation for this, and it's a lost dead language. But apparently, this symbol. It's like almost like a plaque, like a tile, and there's there are a few elements that people do like are recognizable, like they're
repeating
repeating symbols, so they know it means something important. And there's this debate between whether it's a bull or a horse.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, there's.
What's the debate?
I don't know.
They just have like a shitty drawer.
That bulls are everywhere in this culture, and that maybe there's something to do with like what that means or what that could represent. That I don't know. It just says that there is a debate between like the origins of this, and if it is Dravidian in origin or Aryan in origin, and one of them would be more bull represented and one would be more horse represented. So they're trying to like understand like what.
Why do you think it's so
symbols?
Valuable though? That would
I was going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, like what is the big deal?
Maybe it's because it will allow. It will add context or provide maybe a story for. It's a missing piece in the puzzle of their history, or and maybe what these artifacts they found, that they need the key to kind of decipher this. And when you go to a museum and they'll have like the artifacts and they'll have that little write up and it'll say something about the time, that if you couldn't do that, there would be a lot of value in having an answer for all the history books forever of what this says and what this means. And
I mean,
maybe they think it'll increase tourism or something like that.
How's anybody going to figure it out?
I have no clue. And then I think I feel like how could you not have people who are scammy who try to say, yeah, this is what it means, and how can we even verify? How can we know for sure? How could you confirm? This isn't like somebody's going to find a dictionary under their bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just this one sample? Because
there's a lot.
Okay.
It's an image that repeats. I took a screenshot of it. It's an image. It looks like this. Mm-hmm. And so some people are saying that's a bull. Some people are saying that's a horse.
What do you think it is?
On a bull, definitely.
Why?
Because it's got a horn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a horse, but I didn't know there was a horn.
Well, I don't know. Is it a horn? Is that something decorative? I think this could be the argument, or maybe that is part of, like, that's how they drew them. Like, that. So I guess they have it down here in the article that if it's cracked, that this could rewrite Indian history, confirming a connection this current leader's maybe connection to one of the world's earliest urban cultures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is cool. Maybe we'd learn a lot from that.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a lot of money, though.
And maybe...
You should get decoding.
Because, yeah, they definitely should. And maybe there's another, I don't know, like a Rosetta Stone for a different era or time that we haven't found or we haven't uncovered yet. Mm-hmm. And we don't even know what is a language or not when, maybe finding these things. Maybe this would help to just be a missing piece there that will help fill in some of the blanks.
Is there like a Reddit for this? Like who's working on this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like it might just be their...
Is it scholars that were regulars?
I think scholars.
Okay, and they're going to get $1 million? That's nice.
Oh, you mean like working on the actual problem or asking people for assistance? I think working on the actual problem is everybody.
Yeah.
It's open up to, like they've said,
anybody
hey,
can do it.
People out there, can you, figure this out?
All right. Maybe a brainiac will do it.
That's what I was thinking too. It's like,
why not?
Puzzle solvers. Here we go. Yeah. That's all I got for you today.
Thank you. That was great. I loved it. We covered a lot of ground, and I feel like we got a little bit philosophical.
We did.
Swimming.
Talked a lot about metaphors for life, swimming, boomerasking.
I mean, we're pretty deep.
Another pool pun.
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah. We stay out of the shallow zone here on Brain Candy Podcast.
We dive right in.
Yes, we do.
Don't forget, check out thebraincandypodcast.com because that's where all of our codes are for our partners. And that's how we keep the lights on.
Yes. Keep all this fun stuff coming.
Great if you would support us that way or join our patreon.com/braincandy and just keep laughing and learning with us.
Yes. We'll see you next time.
Bye.